What is the concept of ethereal dimensions all about? It's more mystical than it first sounds. It's a theoretical proposition in the field of quantum physics and cosmology. Simply put, it refers to the possibility of dimensions other than the three spatial dimensions and the time and space dimension we are accustomed to. Think of it this way. You're used to thinking about length, width, and height. You're accustomed to the passage of time. These are the familiar four dimensions, but more dimensions need to be more readily perceptible to us. That's the central idea behind ethereal dimensions. Just imagine these extra dimensions could be compactified or curled up, so small that they're virtually impossible to detect. Theories such as string theory posit that these dimensions could be integral to the fundamental fabric of the universe. They could be responsible for elementary particles' properties, gravity's nature, and other essential aspects of our reality. However, it would help if you didn't jump to conclusions. The existence of ethereal dimensions is still theoretical and much debated in the scientific community. Still, the concept holds a certain allure. It suggests a more prosperous and complex universe than we can readily perceive. It's a reminder that reality may be more intricate than our senses, or even our instruments can fully grasp. Part 2. The intersection of science and spirituality. You'll find a fascinating blend of tangible facts and intangible beliefs in exploring the intersection of science and spirituality. Although seemingly at odds, both domains can merge to offer a comprehensive understanding of the universe and our place within it. It's crucial to approach this intersection with an open mind and consider both the empirical data offered by science and the experiential wisdom provided by spirituality. As you delve deeper, you'll encounter the concept of ethereal dimensions, which straddles the line between science and spirituality. This concept posits that there are dimensions beyond the physical three-dimensional space we inhabit, dimensions that aren't perceptible through our conventional senses. These ethereal dimensions could explain phenomena that science currently struggles to account for, like consciousness or the feeling of transcendence during meditation. However, it's essential to remember that while this notion is fascinating, it's still entirely speculative. Science demands empirical evidence, and the idea of ethereal dimensions needs to be improved. On the other hand, spirituality often requires belief without physical evidence, which can feel nebulous and uncertain to those ingrained in the scientific method. Exploring this intersection is a journey of understanding rather than pursuing definitive answers. It's about developing a holistic perspective that embraces science's rigorous scrutiny and spirituality's intuitive wisdom. It's about exploring the unexplored and contemplating the unconceived. Your journey through this intersection will be challenging, but undoubtedly it will also be enlightening. Part 3. The theories on multiple dimensions. Diving into theories on multiple dimensions, you'll discover possibilities that challenge your understanding of reality and push the boundaries of scientific and spiritual thought. These theories, rooted in quantum mechanics and string theory, propose the existence of dimensions beyond the familiar three: length, width, and height. They suggest that our perception of reality is merely a slice of a broader, more complex universe. In physics, there are potentially up to 11 dimensions, each operating in ways that may be unobservable or inaccessible. In this theoretical framework, particles aren't just points in space. They're strings that vibrate at different frequencies, and these frequencies determine the properties of the universe. This complex tapestry of dimensions and vibrations gives rise to the physical world as we perceive it. Beyond science, multiple dimensions also find a place in spiritual thought. It's posited that these unseen realms are where consciousness, energy, and perhaps even entities exist outside of our three-dimensional reality. These dimensions are interconnected, influencing and interacting with our existence in ways that are still primarily a mystery. Thus, exploring theories on multiple dimensions isn't just an intellectual exercise. It's a journey into the uncharted territories of reality, where the scientific and the spiritual converge. To understand these theories, you must embrace complexity, challenge preconceived notions, and open your mind to the extraordinary. But now, let's move beyond theories into the unseen reality, beyond the 3D world. Part 4. The unseen reality beyond the 3D world. Beyond the 3D world, there's an unseen reality that you'll find both intriguing and perplexing. This reality, often called the ethereal dimension, exists beyond our familiar physical universe. It's a concept that's been explored deeply in theoretical physics and posits the idea of multiple dimensions beyond the 3 spatial dimensions you're accustomed to. You can think of these dimensions as unseen layers of reality that exist concurrently with our thoughts. Different vibrational frequencies distinguish them, rather than separating them by distance. Imagine tuning a radio. Each station broadcasts simultaneously, but you only hear one at a time because you've tuned into a specific frequency. That's how these unseen dimensions work. Scientists theorize that these dimensions interact with our own in ways that we can't easily perceive. For instance, gravity, which we experience as a force pulling us downward, is the interaction of our 3-dimensional world with one of these unseen dimensions. These dimensions could also explain the mystery of dark matter and energy, which comprise about 95% of our universe, but remain largely undetected. Understanding these ethereal dimensions can be challenging. It requires an analytical mind, a good grasp of complex scientific theories, and a willingness to venture beyond the boundaries of conventional thought. But as you delve into this unseen reality, it opens up new perspectives on the universe and our place. It's a fascinating journey that you're only just beginning to explore. Part 5. Quantum Mechanics and Ethereal Dimensions. Quantum mechanics, you'll soon discover, plays a crucial role in understanding these unseen layers of reality. The theory underpins our understanding of the ethereal dimensions beyond our conventional 3-dimensional world. Imagine, if you will, the universe as a multifaceted structure with dimensions interwoven in a complex dance. Next, consider the quantum particles. These infinitesimal entities, you'll find, don't play by the rules as we know them. They exist in a state of superposition where they can be in multiple places at once until observed. That's right, they occupy various dimensions simultaneously. Now, bring in the concept of entanglement. Quantum particles can be correlated so that the state of one instantaneously affects the other, regardless of the distance separating them. As Einstein famously called it, this spooky action at a distance hints at dimensions that transcend our everyday space-time. Incorporate the idea of string theory, which posits that particles aren't point-like, but tiny vibrating strings. It's a theory that necessitates multiple extra dimensions, as many as 7 beyond the familiar 3. These hidden dimensions, folded upon themselves, could be where these strings vibrate, creating the particle properties we observe. Understanding these concepts is challenging but crucial in grasping the ethereal dimensions. In its strange and counterintuitive ways, quantum mechanics provides a frame to visualize and understand the unseen layers of our reality. Dive deep, and you'll find that the universe is far more intricate than our limited perceptions would have us believe. Part 6. Metaphysical Perspectives on Ethereal Dimensions. In exploring metaphysical perspectives, you'll encounter a new way of looking at these unseen realms of existence. Metaphysics seeks to comprehend the nature of reality that transcends our physical senses. As such, ethereal dimensions form a crucial part of the metaphysical discourse. You'll find esoteric scholars often proposing the existence of intangible dimensions. They posit these dimensions as realms of higher consciousness, where pure energy and thought supersedes physical matter. These dimensions exist concurrently, not necessarily above or below our three-dimensional world, but only through altered states of consciousness or amplified spiritual awareness. You'll also come across ideas suggesting that these ethereal realms interact with our physical reality. They affect our thoughts, emotions, or lives, often in ways we can't perceive directly. It's crucial to remember that these aren't scientifically validated ideas, though they're philosophical conjectures that provide alternative perspectives on reality. Indeed, the metaphysical approach to ethereal dimensions is complex, abstract, and speculative. It's a fascinating paradigm that challenges conventional notions of reality, expanding the boundaries of what we consider possible or natural. So, as you delve deeper into these perspectives, you're not merely venturing into the unknown. You're questioning, probing, and redefining your understanding of existence. Part 7. Ethereal Dimensions and Paranormal Phenomena. You're about to explore how these unseen realms might relate to paranormal phenomena, which can be intriguing. Supernatural phenomena, by definition, are events or occurrences beyond the scope of ordinary scientific understanding. Imagine ethereal dimensions as spaces beyond our physical perception, potentially housing such inexplicable circumstances. You're accustomed to living in a three-dimensional world, but what if more dimensions are concealed from your senses? As you delve deeper, consider the string theory from modern physics. It suggests that the universe comprises multiple dimensions, most of which are beyond human comprehension. Could these theoretical dimensions be the ethereal realms where paranormal activities occur? In these dimensions, laws of physics, as you know them, may not apply. This could explain phenomena such as ghosts, apparitions, or telekinesis. They're not breaking the rules. Instead, they're playing by a different set, one that's defined by the ethereal dimensions. Your understanding of space-time is based on Einstein's relativity theory, which describes gravity as a warp in the space-time fabric. Now, extrapolate this concept to the ethereal realms. Could they be warps or folds in the space-time continuum, allowing paranormal phenomena to manifest? However, it's essential to maintain a critical perspective. Please acknowledge the limits of your current understanding and the speculative nature of these theories. Still, exploring these ethereal dimensions and their potential link to the paranormal is an intellectual pursuit that challenges you to rethink your perception of reality. After all, isn't that a journey worth embarking on? Part 8. Mysteries of the Fourth Dimension. The fourth dimension is a mysterious realm that's often misunderstood, yet might hold the answers you seek. You might imagine dimensions as a linear progression, width, height, depth, and some unfathomable next step. We're bound by our three-dimensional experience, but let's break those chains and delve into the complexities of this elusive dimension. Physicists posit that the fourth dimension is time, intertwined with space in the fabric of space-time. Imagine you're at a crossroads. The spatial dimensions are the roads extending in all directions, while time is the vehicle that allows you to traverse these paths. You can't touch or see it, but it's integral to your journey. However, in string theory, it's suggested that there could be up to 9 spatial dimensions, compact and curled up so tiny that you'd never perceive them. Could the fourth dimension be one of these? It's difficult to say. Yet, it's in this abstract realm that mathematical elegance and physical realities intersect. The fourth dimension provides a framework for understanding phenomena that defy three-dimensional logic. You've heard of quantum entanglement. It's where particles become interconnected, with the state of one instantly affecting the other, regardless of distance. In the three-dimensional world, it's inexplicable. But introduce the fourth dimension, and it starts making sense. The fourth dimension is an enigma, a mathematical certainty elusive in physical reality, but it's not to be feared. It's to be explored, understood, and integrated into your comprehension of the universe. So please don't shy away from its complexity. Embrace it. It's not beyond you, and it's just a step further. Part 9. The spiritual implications of ethereal dimensions. Diving deeper into the abstract, let's consider the spiritual implications these higher realms might have on your understanding of our universe. As you explore these ethereal dimensions, you're not just delving into theoretical physics or metaphysics, but also embarking on a profound spiritual journey. You're peering beyond the veil of the physical world, seeking answers that can't be touched or quantified, but only felt on an intrinsic spiritual level. The concept of ethereal dimensions may seem abstract, but it's grounded in the belief that there's more to existence than what can be perceived through the five senses. You've probably heard of the phrase, seeing is believing, but in this case, it's more believing is seeing. By accepting the possibility of multiple dimensions, you're acknowledging the existence of phenomena beyond our comprehension. This has profound spiritual implications. It challenges the notion of a linear reality and opens up the possibility of simultaneous existences. It suggests that we're not just physical beings, but spiritual entities, capable of transcending our three-dimensional confines. It implies that there could be realms where spiritual laws supersede physical laws, where consciousness isn't confined to the body, but can permeate through these ethereal dimensions. Part 10. The role of consciousness in perceiving dimensions. Your consciousness plays a pivotal role in perceiving realms beyond our three-dimensional reality. Consciousness, in this instance, isn't just your waking cognitive function. It's an enveloping, multifaceted entity that can traverse the boundaries of tangible reality. Your consciousness is the lens through which the abstract manifests as perceptible, and the imperceptible becomes discernible. Imagine your consciousness as a radio receiver, capable of tuning into various frequencies. The world you perceive around you, the tactile, the audible, the visible, all but a single frequency your consciousness is tuned into. By shifting this tuning, by altering your consciousness, you can perceive other dimensions, other realities that coexist with our own, but are typically invisible to us. Through meditative practices, lucid dreaming, or even near-death experiences, you can potentially attune your consciousness to these other dimensions. The experiences often described by individuals with such encounters of timelessness, interconnectedness, and immense tranquility could indicate a reality that operates on laws radically different from our own. However, it's essential to approach this with a discerning mind. The realm of consciousness and dimensions is riddled with pseudoscience and unverified claims. As you delve deeper, remember to maintain a balance between open-mindedness and critical thinking. As we transition into ethereal dimensions, a New Age theory, it's worth remembering that your consciousness isn't only a gateway to these realms, and your guide and protector within them. Part 11. Ethereal Dimensions, a New Age theory. Having delved into the role of consciousness in perceiving dimensions, you're now transitioning into a new facet of understanding, specifically the New Age theory of ethereal dimensions. This theory, though abstract and elusive, is compelling in its construct. It posits the existence of dimensions beyond the physical, ones that are ethereal, meaning they're intangible yet profoundly impactful. This concept might perplex you, but let's dissect it precisely to facilitate comprehension. In New Age thought, ethereal dimensions are seen as planes of existence that aren't purely physical, but are imbued with spiritual, energetic, or metaphysical properties. They're realms that can't be perceived with our conventional senses, but are considered as accurate and influential as the physical world you're accustomed to. You may ask, how does one interact with these dimensions? The solution is found in the realms of consciousness and subtle energy. It's suggested that you can tap into these ethereal planes through certain practices like meditation, astral projection, or energy healing. Despite its abstract nature, this theory has gained traction due to its potential implications for understanding the nature of reality, consciousness, and the unseen facets of existence. However, it's crucial to approach it with analytical rigor, as its intangible nature makes it susceptible to misinterpretation and conjecture. In essence, the theory of ethereal dimensions invites you to reconsider the boundaries of your understanding, venture beyond the tangible, and explore the profound depths of the unseen. It's a complex yet intriguing journey into the realms of New Age belief systems. Part 12. Ethereal Dimensions in Popular Culture. You've likely come across these otherworldly realms in popular culture, with movies, books, and art often exploring concepts beyond our physical reality. From science fiction epics to surrealist paintings, ethereal dimensions are a recurring motif, offering a canvas for creators to challenge the boundaries of human comprehension. You'll find myriad interpretations and portrayals within these narratives and visual expressions, each providing unique perspectives on what lies beyond our tangible world. Delving deeper, you'll find that cinematic representations often utilize ethereal dimensions as settings for extraordinary narratives. These portals into the unknown allow characters to traverse time, space, and reality. Authors employ these dimensions in literature to explore profound philosophical questions, using non-physical realms as metaphors for existential debates and intellectual exploration. Similarly, in visual art, ethereal dimensions often manifest as abstract elements, inducing a sense of disorientation and awe. These surreal landscapes push the limits of visual perception, encouraging viewers to question their understanding of reality. However, it's imperative to remember that these depictions are the product of creative liberty, often straying far from any scientific consensus. They're a testament to human imagination, weaving intricate tales and stimulating perceptions, but they may not necessarily correspond with the reality of ethereal dimensions. The shift in scientific discourse around these dimensions is equally fascinating. As we transition into the subsequent section about scientific discoveries supporting ethereal dimensions, you'll discover how these artistic impressions compare to the latest quantum physics and string theory breakthroughs. Part 13. Scientific Discoveries Supporting Ethereal Dimensions. In this section, you'll dive into the groundbreaking scientific discoveries that support the existence of realms beyond our physical space. You'll see how some theories challenge the conventional understanding of the universe and open up the possibility of other ethereal or non-physical dimensions. The first theory is string theory. It is a theoretical basis in which one-dimensional strings replace the point, like particles of subatomic particles. This theory suggests that multiple dimensions, as many as 11, might exist beyond the 4 we're familiar with. What's intriguing is that these extra dimensions could be compactified or hidden, thus explaining why we don't perceive them in our everyday lives. Next, you'll delve into quantum mechanics, particularly the many worlds interpretation. This hypothesis posits that every quantum event creates a new universe. There could be infinite parallel universes, each representing a different outcome of a quantum event. Lastly, you'll explore the concept of dark matter. It's a form of matter that doesn't interact with electromagnetic force, making it invisible to the naked eye. Yet, it's believed to constitute approximately 85% of the matter in the universe. Dark matter could inhabit other dimensions. Part 14. Unraveling the fifth dimension and beyond. You've explored the scientific discoveries supporting ethereal dimensions, and now you're primed to plunge deeper. Let's dive into the convoluted realm of the fifth dimension and beyond. Unraveling the fifth dimension is like visualizing a spatial plane that is orthogonal to our familiar three-dimensional space. It's complex, yes, but bear with me. Imagine you're a two-dimensional creature living on a flat plane. How perplexing would a third dimension seem to you? That's the challenge you're grappling with here. String theory, a frontrunner in theoretical physics, posits that there exist not 3 or 4, but 10, possibly 11 dimensions. It's a bold assertion, but intricate mathematical models back it. It suggests that dimensions beyond the fourth are compactified or curled up on a microscopic scale, which is why you can't perceive them. But don't presume these dimensions are insignificant. They're integral to the universe's functioning, influencing everything from quantum mechanics to the fundamental forces of nature. They're not just theoretical constructs. They're woven into the very fabric of reality. However, the exploration of these dimensions is still a work in progress. You're treading on the cutting edge of science, where theories are constantly refined, redefined, or even discarded. It's a challenging journey that promises profound revelations about the nature of the universe and your place in it. Part 15. The controversy surrounding ethereal dimensions. Despite your deep dive into the theoretical world of hidden spatial planes, controversy still swirls around these elusive concepts. It's no surprise. You're navigating uncharted territory, where the well-established rules of traditional physics only sometimes apply. Here, the debate can be contentious in ethereal dimensions. Primarily, the controversy centers on the concept's lack of empirical evidence. You've undoubtedly grappled with this yourself. While intellectually intriguing, additional dimensions have proven elusive, intangible, measurable data. Theories abound, but concrete proof still needs to be within reach. This has led some critics to dismiss these ideas as mere conjecture rather than genuine scientific inquiry. Yet, it's important to remember that the absence of evidence isn't necessarily evidence of absence. There's a need for innovative approaches and new methodologies to detect these ethereal dimensions if they indeed exist. You're well aware of the difficulties that lie ahead. It's a daunting task. Moreover, the notion of ethereal dimensions challenges our fundamental understanding of the universe. It contradicts our sensory experience and is difficult for many to comprehend. Bridging this cognitive gap is yet another hurdle you've got to overcome. Ultimately, it's up to you and your fellow explorers to chart these ethereal planes. Despite the controversy and the challenges, the journey is what counts. So keep questioning, keep probing, and who knows? You might uncover the secrets of the universe through ethereal dimensions. Part 16. Ethereal Dimensions and the Nature of Time. In this next phase of your exploration, you'll begin to unravel the mysterious relationship between these unseen territories and the nature of time itself. It's essential to comprehend that time, as we perceive it, is inherently linear. We experience it as a continuous progression from the past, present, and future. However, time may sometimes follow a different path in the ethereal dimensions. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where time doesn't just move forward, sideways, or even backward. The ethereal dimensions could harbor such peculiarities. If this is the case, you're confronting a profound shift in your understanding of reality. Time is no longer a one-way river. Instead, it becomes an expansive ocean capable of flowing in any direction. What's the evidence? Quantum physics has begun to hint at these possibilities. For example, subatomic particles have been observed to exist simultaneously in multiple states, a phenomenon known as superposition. This suggests that our conventional understanding of time and space may be merely a specific case within a broader, more complex reality. However, it would be best if you remembered that these ideas are speculative and highly theoretical. They're built on mathematical models and experimental data can be interpreted. They push the boundaries of our understanding and challenge our assumptions about the nature of existence. This exploration of ethereal dimensions and their potential relationship with time leads us to a new frontier, inviting you to contemplate the existence of higher dimensions. Part 17. Contemplating the existence of higher dimensions. You're now poised to consider the possibility of higher realms of existence, places beyond our standard three-dimensional world. It's an idea that, while complex, is worth delving into. The concept of higher dimensions isn't a fanciful invention of science fiction. Instead, it's a robust area of exploration in theoretical physics and string theory. Consider this. In our three-dimensional world, you perceive length, width, and depth. Yet scientists propose that these dimensions are only a fraction of what might exist. They suggest up to 10 or even 11 dimensions, each more intricate and elusive than the last. In our future ebook, we will discuss these dimensions. You're familiar with a point in space. It's zero-dimensional. Extend that point into a line, and you've got one dimension. Drag that line into a square for 2, and lift the square into a cube for 3. But how do you visualize the fourth dimension, let alone the fifth, sixth, or seventh? The fourth dimension is often theorized as time, which you experience but can't touch or manipulate. Imagine if entities could influence the fourth dimension like you do, with the 3 spatial dimensions. It's a mind-bending concept. Understanding these higher dimensions requires a shift in perception, a step beyond the tangible and observable. You're not just contemplating abstract concepts. You're probing the very fabric of reality. You're questioning the nature of existence itself. Part 18. Ethereal Dimensions and the Mystery of Dark Matter. The elusive nature of dark matter might be your next puzzle, as it's believed to exist in these unseen spaces beyond our familiar 3 dimensions. As you delve into this enigma, you'll find that scientists have yet to detect dark matter directly. Yet they're confident in its existence due to the significant gravitational effects it exerts on visible matter in the universe. In the quest to solve this mystery, you might encounter the concept of ethereal dimensions. These are proposed dimensions beyond the 3 spatial and 1 temporal dimensions we're accustomed to. They're not another physical place to go, but additional aspects of reality we don't perceive directly. Understanding the concept requires a shift from viewing dimensions as physical places to perceiving them as different aspects of reality. Theoretical physicists suggest that dark matter could be evidence of these additional dimensions. You'll find that gravitational effects aren't restricted to our familiar dimensions. They could be leaking into ours from these ethereal dimensions, causing the effects attributed to dark matter. As you probe further, you'll discover supersymmetry, a theory that proposes every particle has a superpartner in these additional dimensions. If this theory holds water, it could explain the existence of dark matter,